I got an XRP value proposition that I think you're all going to like. This has to do with the EUROZONE. We're also going to talk about a website that I think a lot of you used that made a poor investment in crypto, or did it not come to fruition yet? And Daddy went shopping. Check it out, everyone. Full carbon frame. Oh, yes. Sexy, isn't it? Starting it off with your comments because you matter most. Daryl Vasquez, channel member. Thank you very much, by the way, to the channel members. Memberships have been blowing through the roof recently. Love the support. If these tokens were going to take off, they would have already. Elon bought Twitter, made it X, and crypto holders been holding onto it for years. Doesn't take that long to adopt. We're going to talk about adoption. That's why I brought up this comment. And a lot of you are thinking that, like, how long does it take to adopt, and do we really need the United States to make it happen? Alan Powers, 5307, says, Klaus, are you even bullish on XRP and XLM? Just curious. I am, but my expectations are more realistic than I think my counterparts in YouTube. You're not going to see me out here pumping up 25,000% XRP, or every video titled, bullish this, bullish that, bullish my balls. Sadly, though, gonna have to be careful. Why? Because we've got a little bit of hurricane action heading my way. So if I'm quiet here in the next few days, it's because I'm preparing or losing internet. Bitcoin's in at 26,149, ETH 1658. Let me know if I should change the background, because y'all seem to love the hotel setting and might need to freshen up the digs here. That's why the whiteboard says change is needed. XRP sitting at 52.6, while XLM is in sideways mode at 12.1. By the way, the XLM camp stellar has been very, very quiet. Yes, I know they have Meridian coming up, but wouldn't it be nice if they did something to make themselves more relevant? All right, I know you use this site, OnlyFans. Come on now, be real here, raise your hand. Whoa, sorry. You raise your hand. OnlyFans bought 20 million worth of Ethereums. I broke the story a few days ago saying that they made an investment. At that time, we did not know what the numbers were, but we got the numbers now. Here's the thing, though, and I want you to think about this, because this has to deal with, like, hodl mode and companies, putting crypto on books and store of value, which is what we're going to talk about with XRP. But this has to do with the Euro and Europe, not the United States. See, so we are talking about more things in the U.S. here. According to the company's financial filing, OnlyFans had purchased about 20 million worth of ETH. However, the value of that purchased ETH has increased, leading to an impairment loss of 8.5 million. As a result, the remaining value known carrying stands at 11.5 million. The impairment loss indicates that the initial investment in Ethereum has declined in value, aligning with the recent price movements. Well, we know that Elon recently had an impairment loss towards Bitcoin. So again, store of value. Store of value makes sense if you know when to get out, okay? And that's what I think a lot of people are struggling with the concept. They're like, yeah, but why would you want to put your money into crypto? Would you want to put it in US banks? Would you want to put it in Baltic region banks? Would you want to put it in Chinese economy derivatives? Hell to the F no. Just my opinion, but I think it's a pretty smart opinion. So again, we go to store of value. That's why when the S-Bake, Silicon Valley, Silvergate, and all those, when those started imploding, Bitcoin went up. Because people are like, yo, where do we put our money? Store of value. So I want you just to keep that idea in your mind as we go through these stories. And again, it has to do with your comments saying, hey, are you even bullish? Yes, I am. But I'm not sitting here thinking the whole world is going to be run on XRPL and adoption, right? So let's keep those ideas in mind. Fed, 80% chance that the Fed is going to take a pause on their next meeting. CPI data is coming out here in about 2 weeks. Going to be very closely watching that. Bad CPI data, the Fed's going to drop it on us. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. This chart will completely reverse. Now, the reason I'm bringing it up has to do with the Euro and the Eurozone. We'll get into it, but first let's talk about adoption. U.S. crypto startups face adoption slowdown and difficult regs. Okay, a lot of development in crypto in the United States is pushed away. Why? We lack regs. And for those of you out there in the comments that are dropping them saying, yo, we're going to get regs in 2024, whatever you're smoking, please share, because sharing is caring. Don't think that in anytime soon the Democrats are going to be like, yeah, let's do some good crypto regs. Guys, the Dems are in charge of the Senate as well as the presidency. And it's not a dig on the Democrats or the Republicans. It's just right now, it's not like one party agrees on everything, especially crypto. You've seen crypto has become very partisan. So adoption in terms of regs is going to be tough because guess what? We're already in primary season, everyone. I'm already hearing about Trumpito. I'm already hearing about DeSantis. Like, you see what I mean? These people are worried about getting elected and some of them re-elected, so they're not going to rock the boat with crypto shit. Here's the deal, though. U.S. crypto adoption outpaced by other countries. Again, what is going to make crypto move, right? Expectations, okay? My expectations of crypto, and if you want an honest video, comment down below and tell me you want an honest video on my expectations and I'll make it. I'll rip the band-aid off. I'll tell you what my realistic expectations are, but only if enough of you are into that. If enough of you are into it, I'll do it. I'll even decide to wear pants. Oh, you only see the bottom half of me, or top half of me right now. Oh, I'm still making mistakes. I'm tired. But in recent years, the rate of adoption has stalled. In 2022, the U.S. ranked 5th in Chainalysis Global Crypto Adoption Index behind Vietnam, Philippines, Ukraine, and India. And while diehard American crypto advocates are passionate as ever, U.S. residents who own cryptocurrency are still in the minority. We're not strong enough yet to sway the vote. We're simply not. There are so many other things out there that we're worried about. Social issues, right? Come on now, let's be real here. Social issues are still going to be big in the whole ballot box this year. What about inflation? How much we're spending? These are problems not only in the United States, they're global. Speaking of global, as always, any article you see in this video, along with my other ones, will be linked where everyone in the description below. Hey now, I don't have pants on. Check it out though. The 2022 Global Crypto Adoption Index. This just came out, by the way. Look at this. I wanted to highlight this, right? The United States scores super, super high. And you can check out your country here. You're welcome to do it. Because look, it's a pretty big list. See? Pretty neat, isn't it? But check this out. United States, look at this. 5th overall, 3rd in centralized service, 3rd in retail service value perceived, 3rd in DeFi value, 2nd in retail DeFi value. But 111th in peer-to-peer trade volume. And this is for exchanges. That is crazy. So think about that, right? We talk about XRP mooning. We talk about our favorite cryptos booming, okay? But it's hard because we don't have the money bags from the United States. The United States is one of the biggest countries out there that went money printer go burr. Now, United States was alone. Many countries and many zones did, and don't worry, we're getting into this little teaser right here. Oh, Bitcoin and XRP emerge as safe bets? Yes, store of value. We're going to get into it soon, but let's keep with this though. But check it out. United States at 111th right now in peer-to-peer exchange trade volume. So you're seeing it. The United States is not trading it. They're not adding to the juice that's out there. You got more trade volume by Vietnam than United States? That's freaking crazy. Shit, almost this whole damn list has got more than the United States. United Kingdom, 71. Indonesia, 129. So anyways, if you want to explore it, you're welcome to do so. But that segues into this. The euro's demise, don't say euro, it's euro. The euro's demise looms as central bank gambles. Bitcoin and XRP emerge as safe bets. I'm with you on this. Now listen to this scary stat. Because remember, we talked about money printer go burr. And money printer go burr led to this here up on the left-hand side of your screen, right? Crypto prices going through the roof. Now, you got some of those favorite YouTubers out there, right? That everything is bullish. Sunshine and rainbows, bitches. You got a lot of shit like that out there where these hopium pumpers like, oh, we're gonna go 10,000x, 25,000x. Okay, I get it. No, I actually don't. They're fucking full of shit. The problem is these big moves that we had is when money was cheap. When money was cheap, people were throwing risky money into it. Money is not cheap now. Any of you gotten a loan here recently? You're paying a lot, aren't you? Yeah, seriously, you're paying a lot. Almost like if you're buying a full carbon frame. Oh God, is she sexy, isn't it? Just a couple pounds too. It's really, really freaking cool. But think about this. The United States money printer go burr, but what about euro? The underlying issue is the massive debt within the euro system. Financial expert McLeod highlighted the gravity of the situation, noting how both the European Central Bank, see it's not just the US, and national central banks and member states have inflated their balances by purchasing government bonds. Similar to the United States, not just government bonds, but propping up zombie junk companies. We got a bunch of them here in the United States, a bunch of retailers. Okay, so you got problems all across the globe where we're racking up massive debt, which means retailers aren't getting into it. Governments are like, yo, super extended, which means what? Money gets more expensive because now we got to do something about it, right? That's why you're seeing all these central banks, not just the U.S., raise rates. See, it's not just U.S. coverage, although I do focus on it just because that's where I live. But you have it in the Eurozone. This aggressive strategy was meant to grant governments more financial flexibility and boost inflation. At its peak, the bond buying spree introduced, are you ready, 8.82 trillion euros in circulation. So, if there's that much money in circulation, right, that's introduced into circulation, a lot of it made its way into crypto markets. So again, when we look at this, and here we go, doesn't it make more sense now why there was a whole big boom here? Because governments across the globe were just dumping trillions into the economy to keep it rolling. Fed fund rates across the globe, not just the United States, were super, super low. Money was cheap, so you could play in the risky pool, right? You could pull a Wesley Snipes and bet on black and just spin that roulette table and let that bitch spin. So when you got these channels out there, these chart experts, what these chart experts aren't telling you, well, they're purposely not telling you because they're filling you with hopium. And seriously, at least ask them to wine you, dine you before they 69 you. I mean, like, seriously. And, you know, the obligatory reach around. But, like, think about it. They're not taking into account that the money supply now just isn't there. And money is super expensive. And that the money that is circulating around in people's savings are being eaten up by massive credit card debt. Not just in the United States, but also in the Eurozone. But that we're also seeing high prices eat up stuff. High prices of housing? Seriously. For all the friends that I have across the pond that watch this channel, and thank you for the support, both domestic and abroad, told you, global reach of the channel. We all know that housing is just absolutely killer. And everyone out there, oh my God, housing is going to crash. No, it's not. There's no supply, and it's based on supply and demand. Housing is going to stay expensive for a while. It is going to stay expensive for a while. Now, here's the thing, though. However, as years of lenient monetary policy spurred inflation, the European Central Bank ceases bond purchases. As the bank reduces its balance sheet, not replacing maturing bonds with new ones, the bond yields escalate. We're having the same problem in the United States. This trend, combined with hikes in interest rates, again, what's happening in the United States, happening all over the world, led to decreasing bond values. Isn't that messed up? McLeod pointed out that the resulting market-to-market losses from this dynamic totaled a staggering 700 billion euros last year. That's nuts. And we know that there are certain zones fighting higher than normal inflation. I want to say higher than normal, way higher than normal. So when we look at this chart, right, this boom makes sense. Why? Because there was so much freaking money in there. We were locked down. What were we able to do? Right? People are like, yo, crypto's global. We could still trade it, right? So people did. Now let's go forward a little bit here. You see this pump right here? Oh, man, was that more naughty YouTubers? You remember when Ripple Labs filed for summary judgment? And they're like, oh, they're going to be granted. It's going to be a slam dunk and a win. That's what this pump here was for. Oh, so it was a pump and dump. Yeah, because the news was bullshit. Both sides filed for summary judgment. Now check it out. Torres action. We're back to where we were before the Torres action. So again, the markets, right? The global markets, not me. This is not me. This is the global markets. The prices are telling you this shit on the screen. That guess what, everyone? The news, the results aren't strong enough to drive up the price higher. Now, let's pretend, where's my main man SpongeBob? I haven't been here for a couple days. Here he is, SpongeBob. Imagination, right? Let's say imagination. Sharing is caring, right? Smoke it if you got it. Here's the deal. Let's pretend, though, the Torres action happened back here, 2020, 2022, 2021. Whoa, you would have had a massive boom. Why? Because there would have been more money globally to fuel it. So, yes, when I bring up the United States saying, hey, you know, this is what's happening with interest rates. Remember, the same thing has happened in the Eurozone. European central banks and member central banks are all fighting the same problem. And they're reining in their spending. So if they're reining in their spending, you're not going to see it go boom. In fact, when we look at the story, Torres action on the pump didn't even break $1. Didn't even break $1, everyone. So now, as money supply is going to get tighter and tighter, as credit standards are going to increase, as in, hold on, in the United States, what's happening in October? Student loan payments are firing back up, and oh shit, is that going to hurt retail spending? And we know by the data that I provided in this video that one of the biggest economic powerhouses is one of the shittiest peer-to-peer exchange trading volume. It's very hard. Now, awesome. Great. Vietnam, you're second. Freaking cool. But what is the size of the economy of Vietnam? That's not going to fuel this relief that all these people are calling for. Maybe the problem is they don't understand global macroeconomics. Maybe that's just because they're chart princesses. Hopium pumpers. Everything's bullish, isn't it? Every freaking thumbnail is bullish this, bullish that. Bullish these nuts, homie. Because you're not explaining to people that the entire world right now is facing the same problem. Now, the good news is, though, XRP as a store of value is a solution. Yes, 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 it is. Now, granted, companies like OnlyFans, come on now, you watch it. Just shut up and say you watch it, okay? Companies like OnlyFans are putting some of their money in Ethereum. My bet is that I'm going to hear, and you are going to hear, more and more companies start putting XRP on their books as a store of value. They've surpassed USDC in market cap. And I know some of you out there are going to be like, but Klaus, it's volatile. It's this, and I understand that. But you have to know when to get in and when to get out. And the reason I brought up the OnlyFans story, and oh boy, did I set everyone up for this. The reason I brought this in is because as their investment in Ethereum now is become less, like worth less, they're able to write that off. So if now a corporation is able to write off assets on the way down and then sell it for profit on the way up, they can make money on both ends. I've told you that. Be a fucking shark. Sharks make money on the way down and on the way up. So if you can write off these impairment losses, yes, that helps your books. Yes, you have less of a tax liability, which frees up your cash, right? Which is free capital compared because it's not interest rate pegged. That allows you to invest more. And then when your store of value is at a point where you're like, yo, it's not only a place for me to store value, but I can also line my pockets with some green. Boom, you sell that bitch. And that's where the store of value comes into play. That's why seeing stuff like this with Bitcoin, XRP, Ethereum, and it's honestly right now it's Bitcoin and Ethereum are your two biggest store of values. That's seriously what it is. They're not doing so much of stable coins and store of values because really, how do you write down the value of a stable coin? Now you get yield, yes, you can get juicy 4 to 5% yield on USDC all year long. It's a lot of risk, though, considering it's tied to what? U.S. banks. That's very risky for 4 to 5%. If I was going to get 4 or 5%, my shit is going into something boring. Oh, like bonds? Yeah, like the bond gap. Come on, everyone. And that's why I brought up the story about the European central banks in the Eurozone. Because now the juicy bond yields there are at 5% and above. United States is like 5.5%. So what's crazy to think about is the volatility of price up and down means less to people if you're able to write off impairments on the way down, which puts more cash in your pocket at a interest-free rate. It gives you more operating capital. And then guess what? When it goes up, yes, you will pay the taxes for that, but you'll also be able to cash out on the green. XRP as a store of value is a much more likely scenario than this global adoption, bricks built on XRPL, ball sack this and that. No, seriously. Store of value is what a lot of these companies are going to start doing because they can make money on the way down, and when the shit rebounds, they can sell it and make money and line their pockets on the way up. Be a fucking shark. But don't be a shark like where I live because like we're going to be hit by a hurricane soon. So be a shark somewhere else. Now tell me that was not one of the most legit explanations out there of global macroeconomics and how it relates to crypto and a better idea of how crypto can quasi-moon. Now I said earlier, I said, hey look, if you really want to know what my expectations are of crypto, comment down below and I'll do a standalone video on what my real expectations are. I won't fill you up with hopium, I won't wine you, dine you, 69 you. I may talk about this pretty little thing right here. Oh yeah, and I know for those of you out there that are like, Well, Klaus, that's got pink on it. Klaus, ooh, that looks like women's colors. Well, I suffered an injury a long, long time ago when I was hit by a car while riding my motorcycle, so it's very, very hard for me to get in a very aggressive stance, so I can use women's frames and re-decal them and make it work. And, ooh, isn't she hot? Full carbon, by the way. I mean, oh, yes, even the sound is hot, and might sleep with this in my bed tonight. But do me a favor. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, with over 50% of you watching have, but the other ones, come on, you're watching for free? Yes, it's free anyways, but hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit the like button if you got a groovy explanation of global macroeconomics and how it ties into XRP as a store of value, which is a better proposition of value. And do me a favor too. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss out. Because you know I drop these videos several times a day, and guess what? Some of these stories that I've brought up have now been, yes, revisions of earlier ones with more juicy deets brought in. So I'm sorry, I'm not going to wine you, dine you, 69 you. Well, I might if you're hot and a redhead and your last name is... Hey, wait, that's my wife. What am I doing the rest of the day? Oh, I'm playing with this thing down here. Hey, get your mind out of the gutter, OnlyFans. Recovery water. But you cool cats are going to have a great rest of your day.